So, as the title suggests, this is going to be a quick video explaining how to set up a steady. So before we sort of explain how to set it up, it's probably easier if I first explain when you need to use it. So if you're turning something, like let's say this bar, and the amount sticking out the chuck to where you're machining it is over 3 times the diameter, the general rule of thumb is that you need some other form of support, whether it's a centre in this end, a steady, travelling steady, you know, anything will do. And obviously there are some other factors like hardness of material, depth of cut, what material it is, but this should just show you how to set one up. Now this is just over 3/4 of an inch, which is quite annoying because it's just off going through the spindle bore, and I need to do some machining at this end. Now the first thing you need to check is that the bar is actually round, because the steady won't support it properly if the bar's not round. So the easiest way to check that is with a mic. So once you know that the bar's round, which I know this one already is, with the mic, you can then go about setting it up. Now if it's not round, you can always set it up and then machine a small area which is the size of the steady pads, which then becomes your indicating surface on the bar. So let's say it was a forged bar, you could always machine a little surface for the steady to run on somewhere on the bar. So I'll grab the steady now. So that's the steady for this machine, and it's got brass fingers there which come in to support the part, and like on most steadies it's split in half, so you can set these 2 pads and then set the top one afterwards. Now the steady will only support something if it's spinning sort of concentrically to the spindle, and if it's not, then the steady won't support it, it'll just tend to bend the job. So you need to make sure that the job is running true before you even put the steady on, which means the 3-jaw chuck is probably not the best option. So I'll just change the chuck. So that's the 4-jaw chuck on, and then once we've got it running true in this, I'll then show you how to set the steady up on there. So once you've got the job running true, you can then decide where you want the steady to be. So it's best to decide so you can put it in one place and leave it. So we're going to set it up at this end and then slide it down to where we need it. So the steady goes on with a T-bolt underneath. So like so, and you slide the T-bolt till it locks into place. So we can then slide it to about where we want it. And then we need to adjust the little fingers till they line up, so they loosen off with a bolt on each one, and then they're free to slide. So we just need to bring them in till they just touch the job, because they're not sort of bending it straight, they're just sort of holding it straight. And then obviously bring the top one down too. And then just bring that one in. So it's just resting on the job. Then we can slide it to about where we need it, which is about here. And then clamp it on with the bolt at the bottom. and we can see there that we are supporting the job and there is no movement there. Now before we run it, we could just do a little bit of oil on there, and then it's good to go. Now if you're turning something rough, you can always turn a little patch of that distance for the pads to ride on. Now this lathe's quite simple, the pads just slide in and lock, but on some lathe there's a screw here to push it down, and you can sort of put a little bit of pressure on, and then if you see the job wobbling around as you're turning, you can put a little bit of preload on the pads, because they're not there to sort of hold, they're there to hold the job rigid, not to sort of bend it straight. So unless the job's running true up here, it's not going to run true up here without bending it somewhere in the middle. And you can see that that's running pretty good.